Good morning, and it's another fresh week right here at Net2 Television. It is the 20th day of the 4th month, that is April, of the year 2020. And it's my pleasure to bring you the dialogue once again. The dialogue, as you know, is the conversation for the nation. And on a day that the partial lockdown, as directed by the president, has been lifted, a lot of things have begun to unfold. And together with my guests, we'll be looking at the implications of the lifting of the ban on the partial lockdown. Of course, anywhere you are, you can watch the show, whether you are behind your TV or behind your phone, tablet, or from the newspapers as we have them this morning. In a jiffy, we'll be taking a look at the headlines, and I'm sure starting the headlines will be the new crusading guide. Yes, my prediction is as good as can be. Akufo-Addo lifts lockdown, but keeps other enhanced measures in place. It says robustness of, okay, that's a lottery issue. This one says Bank of Ghana, Petroleum Commission, others donate 12.6 million Ghana cedis to COVID-19 trust fund. Police arrest 6 notorious land guards at Pantime. Chamber of Bullion Traders supports 37 hospital in COVID-19 fight. And at the back page, okay, there's no story at the back page. Next stop is the Ghanaian Times, I suppose. And on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we have Ghana lifts partial lockdown as government teases COVID-19 combat restrictions. Government lifts partial lockdown as government eases COVID-19 combat restrictions. Meningitis cases cross 409. Meningitis, I beg your pardon, cases cross 409 and 40 die in 5 regions. So even though we are confronted with the fight against the COVID-19, somewhere in the northern regions of Ghana, we are also battling cerebrospinal meningitis. Freight forwarders decry delays in clearing goods at tardy ports. And NLA offers safest platform for mobile games. 2 soldiers snatch timesman's camera in Kumasi. And these things must stop. The journalists who are trying to cover and bring you updates on the lockdown issue, we are always getting manhandled. Please, it must stop. At the back page, we have Bonaboto supports GHS to contain COVID-19 spread. Then Zoom Lion disinfects Ankerful prisons and the University of Development Studies. Finally, we have the Daily Graphic, and on its front page, with a pot shot of the president, the accompanying headline says, partial lockdown lifted. Social distancing, gathering directives remain. GHS to tackle meningitis scourge. Ghana Health Service to tackle meningitis scourge. And time to design new global financial architecture. Finance Minister. Bank of Ghana, others donate to COVID-19 fund. Last but not the least is the back page of the Daily Graphic, and we have private sector fund constructs isolation treatment facility. And Vivo Energy donates PPE to national COVID-19 team. Right, so these are the front pages of the newspapers as we have them. Right. Once again, you're welcome into the studios of your favorite station, Net2 Television. And as I told you earlier, you can also tune in via your mobile handsets, laptops, tablets, what have you, on 0246 conversation on the telephone, though, with her, where she was trying to assuage our fears and anxiety when we have little coughs and colds and fears in dealing with the isolation. Fortunately, this morning, we've been let free. And of course, we are free to discuss with her the implications of this whole coronavirus pandemic, the effects on society, and how to deal with it. Good morning and welcome to the studios, Doc.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Are you this relaxed all the time? Even during the pandemic?
Yes, I need it.
Right. So last week, you gave us an idea in how to maybe manage our fears and anxieties. Look, me, myself, I'm my own example. Sometimes I cough a little, my throat itches a bit, I sneeze, and then I'm all, do I need to be tested? Should I call the numbers? Should I, my anxiety level increases. Is it normal for this to happen, and how do I deal with it?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. And thank you for inviting me to this program. Last week, I remember I discussed certain things with you regarding the fact that it's normal or it's natural for us to have some anxiety and fears during any kind of crisis,
right.
Not only coronavirus. So during any kind of crisis like floods, like death of a loved one, all those, we experience such things, we feel that, am I going to get coronavirus? Should I call for, it happens to everybody.
Right.
But one thing we should know is that we were coughing already. We were sneezing, we were having sore throats actually before coronavirus. So when you have that once a while, or sometime you take in your remedies, whichever remedies you were using, and then you move along. But if you get scared that because I coughed today or because I sneezed today means that I have coronavirus, then it's going to be a problem to be done with.
Okay. Just before I go to my next question, can we say this, what you just said again in the local language, in the Chi,
okay.
So that some of us,
say last week I can't say nibina and yenya akwenya TV so ye beki can be aka ho say beside me say ebia me o ho na obowa ana wo hwensi ana wo mem kekawa nti no kire say wanya bia na nhihye ya World Health Organization dia breye na kire say sa ne manema we na kire say ebia wo ben yare no nanso de me pese yin na ye hu ne say ina wo ho no na ye bowa deda na ye hwense deda na ye minimu kra keka ye deda nti no eno nkire say wanya bi je say ebia ade na akoso ebia wa no molemo no ginger ni ade bi na eguso na ho tete ho nam nyina ye o ya ho ne wonya dia na ne mesre wo say free numbers na ide atudwa no na afi omo mebo nanso say bia wo akakedro bi na say e wona wo bo na gya meaning say what's not in a wusru. If it's a wusru no, or as you get scared, it rather increases those symptoms.
Good.
And then you'll be nearing towards that point. So you don't have to get scared. Just relax. Do the natural things you do. When you realize that they are not working, just be positive that even when I call in for them and then I'm tested, even when it comes up and it's negative, it's positive. It's not a death sentence, like we say always. Okay. You're not going to die. And fortunately for Ghana, we have some kind of luck. I don't know whether it has to do with our own systems, but many people are not in critical conditions. So we should relax and know that even if I test positive, I'm going to get well.
Fantastic. You said that it's not a death sentence. Yesterday in the President's 7th update to the nation, he specifically mentioned stigmatization and issues arising out of that. We'll look at that in detail somewhere along the conversation. But there's another aspect of fear or anxiety that people are talking to me about, especially in this age where the elderly and the old, in this age of isolation, don't visit persons too many a time, try and contact people via phone calls and other digital manners, in other digital ways. How do we ensure that the elderly, still get the care that they deserve and the kind of support that they need? Because, for instance, myself, I've got parents who are in their 80s. Both of them are in their 80s. I'm constantly worried about their upkeep, what they eat, how they, even their normal medication, let alone staying away from them for a prolonged period during this isolation. How do we deal with parents and people of who are quite old, the geriatric, if I have to put it that way?
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, we've heard or we've been told that the elderly are at risk because they have lower immune systems. As you age, definitely your immune system, gets weakened little by little. So now that we've been told to isolate, we've been told not to mix up, and then you have elderly parents. One, you definitely have, or you have people already taking care of your parents. They cannot take care of themselves at the age of 80.
They are doing that, you'll be surprised. My parents are taking care of themselves.
Okay, yeah. So now...
But they might be the lucky,
there's no other person in the house with them? They are the only people in the house. Okay, so for now, as have been indicated, you cannot do much in terms of, going to live with them. But you can still contact them. And the difficulty is, because you cannot be with them, you're not sure what's going on with them. That's why now you need to engage in some video call to see them and then find out what's going on with them. Maybe now that there's no lockdown, you can visit. Actually be in front of the house, let them understand why you cannot come in, because you are going to work every day and you don't want to sort of, in quote, infect them. So you can stand behind the gate and then chat with them all the same. I see that on TV sometimes, even in the Western world, where people are in their vehicles and then they are chatting across with others. And so now, if there were people living in the house with them, maybe they had house helps or whatever, they could do something for them. But in certain houses, as you said, there is nobody.
Exactly.
And that makes it a bit difficult. But even with that one, I hope you can make the video call and then get to see them, what's happening with them. And then if there is any need for you to assist them in any way, probably you can, call on the health facility for them to, because they have the PPEs to enable them go inside. You don't have it.
Right.
So, and to say, well, mame phone papa for omo ye empenyinfo, say I can't try and say, omo yare no, omo ye at risk panas, omo betimi anya ne ntente me fi say, omo ban bono wo fom. Unyi no na obambo no ekofom nti omo de ese ye bom ho ban paaye nti sa woni obi te saa ese wo hwe ne ye na wa amanye me bi ankeka ne ho a ebe ma na nya yare ne bi ye youth ni nti obo ho a person wants to go out and do the hair and go and buy something in town which is not really needed at this time. You need to cut all that, because if you do that, you are putting them at risk. Okay. Because you don't know who you are going to meet at the salon, who you are going to meet in town. And these people have been told, say, we are at risk. Only obianso ofia intina ne de nyame adom ye wo technology obetimi aye video call na wo show man na wo show papa oni omudi nkomo na mo sresre chatting with them for them to know that you still care. And asa wa kofie ho gate na no wagina ho mami daddy betimi behwe sene amoho te why monsro bibia be fine, everything will be. Let's keep assuring them.
Right.
That is what they need in these times, because the brain now underlying underlying conditions, to say blood pressure, diabetes, into ya can't tell mutumu be brena, I shall say, ye depressed. More rare, if you say, ya can't almost or more at risk, but as you say, we need to tell them that there are several older people too who have survived this condition.
Right.
Some are 100 years, some are 104. So in theater, we can't show them say,
give them hope.
Money that's so say, be no money in the crowd, what home. Into one so social we ya. It won't say when you and so who bet me, I'll find out unya really be, and now unya be proud who bet all.
Right. So we are still having a conversation with Dr. Mabel Otibwedi, a clinical psychologist, of course, as you can hear from her. She's easing us through our anxiety levels in dealing with this COVID-19 pandemic. Doc, yesterday the president mentioned specifically stigmatization and the ramifications that come with it. In a nation where over 86,000 persons have been contact traced or traced through the contact tracing, enhanced tracing, with 68,000 test results, how are we to deal with stigmatization? Maybe just somebody sees, a van filled with nurses, immigration officer, and a police officer entering my house. Later, they see the van going away. And then my neighbors begin to worry. And then I'm going to buy my basic necessities, water, ingredients for food, and everybody is shying away from me. Is this a reality? And if this happens, how do we deal with that stigmatization?
Okay, thank you. Stigma is a very serious...
Okay, but just before you come in, let's listen to the president on the issue of stigmatization. If the clip is ready, let's hear Mr. If the clip is ready, let's hear Mr. If the clip is ready.
The movement of foodstuffs will continue from producing areas to the markets. And with the intervention of the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, the markets will be better organized for the sale of foodstuffs. Fellow Ghanaians, as we fight to halt the spread of the virus, we're also engaged in fights on two other fronts, fights we must equally win. Firstly, there continues to be the deliberate dissemination of fake news, disinformation, and outright lies by some unpatriotic citizens about the spread of the virus since its outbreak in the country. These acts are being orchestrated by those who seek to benefit by seeking to sow the seeds of panic and confusion amongst the populace at this time of national crisis. I have an unequivocal, unambiguous message for those involved in these despicable acts. Put an immediate stop to it, or be held accountable for your actions. Secondly, as been aptly stated by the Ghana Medical Association, being infected by the coronavirus is not necessarily a death sentence. I've noticed with great concern the stories of some persons who have recovered from the virus now being confronted with another problem, i.e. stigmatization. This is not right, as it will rather drive away people from getting screened, tested, and treated. The stigmatization of recovered persons must stop, because if the virus did not end their lives and livelihoods, the stigma from members of their communities should not. I know the effects of the measures to contain the virus have been difficult for many, and that is why I mandated the creation of the 1.2 billion CD coronavirus.
So that was the president's take on stigmatization and, of course, fake videos. So, Madam, so as the president said, what further steps can we take to at least not scare the tested away, but even help the the cured or the treated to even assimilate better in society and move on with their lives.
Okay, thank you very much. I think what the president said is in the right direction. I mean, he was spot on in what he said, that people have started stigmatizing. And I can say it's natural for people to do that, especially when a lot of people are afraid. There's so much anxiety in the system. There's so much confusion as to what this whole thing is about. And the fear is driving the stigma. Okay, that yare we you see in drew into no me yena oba menchenya menye bi so a anhwa na mewu. And in the beginning, the way we handled especially the media aspect of this whole thing was not the best. People were sending messages of dead people, videos of dead people who couldn't breathe, and so on. And see, I'm not through. Will
that tie in with the fake news?
Yes.
The alarming videos.
Ama and Kofosro, Intino, Osroninti, or the label be abo, who say, Ye Cassa, and I will fear ye bawa dear, and not just say, Yareno, Baomi, Sebenebo, and now your nurse, and now a doctor there. Only sound Kofono, Asia, Intino, when you're ya, or no so ebenyebi. So it's a very serious issue, especially when it comes to many new diseases that come up, like HIV, tuberculosis, and even persons with disabilities. You know, people stigmatize against them and so on. Right. So what can we do? Some of the things we can do is to watch the way we talk.
Okay.
You see, like the president said, it's not a death sentence. We saw the man on TV, the man who had recovered, who, I mean, is living okay. He's going about his activities. Why should you allow stigma not to and let him go through his activities, and rather, so my yare ni mom is in a quaint yare no amano akwenya ene otiase yare no, he got the condition, but he's doing well. But you are going to use the stigma to rather prevent him from working, to doing the things he loves, to doing, going out, taking fresh air and all that. You are preventing that. And no more you share ye, yanka say ye, if you all say, we no more yaren. We no money for yaren no name obia. He doesn't know a person, he doesn't know a downtrodden. Everybody can get the illness. So we should watch the way we talk. They are not cases, they are people with COVID-19, people who have gotten COVID-19. They are not COVID-19 cases. We should stop using that language.
Okay.
And we should talk to them as people like us. We should love them. We should show empathy, because they won't say, okay, me suminyaye. Intina enkofoso omba menchen my family obiazo on me nkase bio. We are seeing, or by the time this thing is over, there will be lots of problems with our social cohesion, because many people would have discriminated against others and they can't get back their relationships. And we need those relationships to survive as a people. Fantastic. But if we stigmatize, we discriminate against ourselves, and the disease is over, what do we do? So we need to be very careful. Otherwise, by the time this thing is over, many people will be at loggerheads with their family members, with their friends. Because now, I heard this morning that if you be La Paz, and almost one could take samples, Obian, Timmy, and Tadia, and all that. We need to be very careful.
And these are happening in pockets of...
And another thing we can do is also to avoid saying the people transmitting the illness.
Okay.
No, nobody's out there to transmit illness. I don't think anybody says out there today, I'm going out, me kwa spread yare no. Oh, yare na nwana. Yeah, it's an yakati entine fi. Ukwa bontin a ubetimi enya. Fi se ubehihia nkofo. You can meet it outside. So we should avoid that, and we should speak accurately about the condition. We should rely on the data. Many about what the president did yesterday was. On Kassawa lifted lockdown, just because of anything. I will say, I'm relying on the data.
Right.
I'm relying on the scientific evidence.
Right.
The president no him. He's privy to so much we don't know. But we want to believe in the scientific data because as I said here, I work with scientific data. So if I don't believe in the scientific data, then what should I believe in?
Okay.
So we should talk about the scientific evidence.
Right. I wish time could allow us to delve into these things further, but we would like to have you back in the studio again sometime again next week where we can continue or extend the discussions further. But just before you wrap up your submissions for today, what do you make of the president's lifting of the ban? I mean, what is the effect on everybody, on both the vulnerable and the poor, on the working society, on the situation itself? 24 hours ago, we were under partial lockdown. Now, lockdown lifted.
Okay. So I think, or I believe that many people breathe or have breathed a sigh of relief.
Right.
Because human beings, we like freedom. Yepe saying, na yetimi we're not getting it. So lots of people are excited, especially those we call high sensational seekers. There are people who like to go out all the time. You see, so now that you have restricted their movement, they cannot move out. It was a problem for a lot of people. But one thing we should remember, that we have come to what we call our new normal.
Our new normal?
Our new normal is washing our hands all the time.
Okay.
Our new normal is keeping a social distance. Our new normal is wearing a mask, like the president said. Our new normal is ensuring that we don't, or we keep our social distance, or we don't pack ourselves together or converge in crowds. That is our new normal. So we are not going to go back to how...
The new normal is avoiding hugs?
Yes, avoiding hugs and handshakes. And it's not going to be an easy thing.
Exactly.
But we are people who are communal. We like to be with each other. We eat with each other. We hug and so on. Like most Africans, that's how we are.
Exactly.
Now we don't have it. So to some of the challenges.
Is there going to be a psychological downturn on this new normal?
Yeah,
is it going to affect our, and how do we deal with it?
Be affected.
Okay.
Sanya ne chef yi no enfi hokra bisesese a o se restrictions ne da so ho crowds ye ntimi converge ne ade ni na wo ho na emom de ebetimi aye ne se nyema na ye bobo so nyema na wo ye wo during lockdown na quarantine na koso na tnafie untimi unkoye bibia wa bonti. If you don't have any essential thing doing out there, stay home. Okay. And then you can call your friends and your relatives on the telephone or use the internet to do it. And I say ube pe bibia ye wo fi ana ukwa ejuma for no the organizations, I know they are going to be able to space out their workers and alternate them. Maybe some people will go today, the next day others will go. We can do that to still have a semblance of our normal. Okay. You know, so that we'll feel okay. Otherwise, the isolation, the loneliness is going to continue. And that is not very good for our psychological development. So we should psych ourselves up. I keep saying that we should restructure our thoughts concerning all these, that this thing has come. Sadly, we are back. Into the positive senet. You call lockdown 21 days. You didn't metimi maybe I'm metimi kind book bako. My idea. Since my family are bonded. First, I'm coming me cry. I'm a require did. We've been able to do it. Now should encourage us than only seeing the negatives. That we are going to suffer. We are going to be in depression. No, we should be positive. And positiveness or being positive improves our resilience. We are going to bounce back as a people who will be better. Because now, you see, at first we thought hand washing and all those things were just something for the elite or whatever. And then who say, I say, yensa. Until yes, any who say, and some who no cry, a bit preventing from malaria, typhoid, near dinner, yan. If you say yensa. Until let's see the positives in this. Ni social distancing, ni physical distancing, no. Yen who says, they say, no, sana near my ye. Yen capitalizing on say your friend for so long one friend that it is our time na so establishes our connections na wow our feeling healthy psychologically.
Fantastic. So on the issue of, just before maybe I have to chip in here, on the issue of fake news and how to deal with it. I mean, we see on social media trending videos, your friends will send them to you via WhatsApp and all that. People will be asking you, hey, have you seen this video? Is this what happens in this circumstance or under this scenario? Do you see this woman suffering and she's been left to her fate and frontline health workers ignoring her? Do you see this? Do you see that? What are the effects of fake videos in these kind of crisis periods?
Okay, if you listen to what the president said,
right.
it looks like this thing has been going around since probably January, February. You know, it hadn't come here, so we weren't so much concerned about it. But by me who said, this thing is serious. And really, when people watch these things, when they listen to these audios, it rather increases their anxiety.
Right.
People get afraid, people get scared. And other times too, there are some people feel that is not true. So one, house is creating the fear in another group of people too. It's making them feel that, oh, some people have gone to sit somewhere and they've done some videos and they are just sharing. And then when you download, it will take your data and so on. So this is creating a problem. And on the side of the law, he's talking about, oh yes, sir, law no beti me enyam. But so education degree. I say we have to educate the people. Say say Ecuador, nipa gugu street kwan so ne ade. And they say they adwen ko hokra. I say who say Ecuador a different country. Ghana a different country. Ghana your steps are taking here and no Ecuador taking here. As far as February, yes, we started taking data from people who are leaving our country, people who are coming in. We've done a lot of aggressive testing, tracing, testing, treatment. And we've realized that with the kind of samples or the kind of people we have here, lots of them are asymptomatic. They don't show the symptoms. So any treatment they give them, they tend to recover. So we should be hopeful and not allow these videos to affect us. They are not in Ghana. Okay. We have a peculiar situation, even though we are in the global village. So we should concentrate on what we are doing as a people. We are lifting lockdown, but one kasano, do something for yourself and know that now everything is in your hands. Apart from the government saying, I mean, these restrictions are still in place, you should also protect yourself. Sani ebeya yen expose ye hu to bo ho a fitiano petu anwumre wote internet ho san wo hwe video no hwe sani mani na echai obi say kraman a dog would get panicked at the sight of these things.
Right.
So you as a human being, how much more? Until would they be a wo hwe nipa o mewu, they be a wo hwe nipa o moyare, it will definitely stick in your memory. And then when you sleep, likely to get nightmares and also wow into intimate that when your anxiety, when you are not when your depression, and some people are actually getting to a situation we call hypochondriasis. Or my fire na to also. If you say who symptoms and this into my bejiatum, into a boa, or say, I read the menu into of course.
Can the fear manifest the disease in your body?
Of course, it can. So you'll be coughing, you'll be doing all those things. But if you want to really be bad because usrono stress in there that also ninti. Ubo say, hey, you cough way there. Why she hear you? Hey, I'm sneezing. Hey, I'm feeling. Sometimes come say na when I'm crying, start yo ya.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of these fake news. Know where you listen to. Know where you watch your videos from. I don't think World Health Organization come and put a video out there that would put fear in you.
Right.
No. In social media, no my Omo America Vanian ka omo wasem. It's a Ghana Nipa 99. It's impressive. Let's talk about it. Let the people know that yare we who betimi enya na wunya nso a. Enya ade a wo kwa akovu. It looks like the international media are focusing na omo manya ene omo mawu.
Yeah.
and no na equity a lot of fear.
Right.
Into fake news in a day, a hard dream be but one kasa as a person, you have a responsibility towards your own health.
Okay.
One kasa says, "I dear we, me share him wame."
Okay.
Obi say, "Me share dear we," and I'm a pressure cost through. I don't know what o pressure cost through 160, 140. I don't know what wow. Inti merhe, inti minimum kofu be o meja news ti, o meja TV re. And you say be on person o better information, but one on one kasa. The psychological state.
Okay. One other issue, and the frontline health workers themselves, the nurses, the laboratory technicians, those who are gathering the data and all those people. I mean, they are doing a marvelous, brave job going out in the front line. But when they come home and they also begin to cough and stuff like that, will they also be going through the same kind of, regressive thoughts that maybe me and the ordinary person will go through on the street? And what are the kind of, what should ease them away from these fears?
Okay, and see, and yet, we are not the only people, that's the general population who are going through this kind of stigma and discrimination. The health workers, as the nurses, the doctors, the psychologists, the policemen, all of them are going through it. To our core hospital, Akoye Juma, Oba, Sanya Okano, I heard last week that in Bodriasi also, the taxi drivers were not they're afraid that they've come into contact. Definitely, they've come into contact, but they are having PPEs. And one thing we should know is that almost any part, they are also humans, so they can also contract the disease. But if they are not there, we cannot take care of this whole thing. If there are no doctors, there are no nurses, no area. You're better day. Intino, one. Making sure any partner or bet now okay mono and answer or befino or who inside yes who drew fear rom pabuano now raw water dear no fasten bunting, remove your clothes and let like some natural air go through it, and then clean it very well before you take it with some gloves on before you take it to your room. Maybe let it stay there for the next day before you take it in. Otherwise, what I think the government can do, that's if there is, some resources to get some hostels, like it's done in other countries for our health workers, so that when they close from work, instead of going home, they'll go to these single rooms. That is not stigmatization. We're just trying to protect the general population so that people would not say, oh, I'm not going to put you in my car, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. If they have hostels, places like guest houses, hotels that can house them, in the meantime, they can do that for them so that they don't mix up with people who discriminate against
We could go on and on and on and on, but unfortunately, this is where I have to draw down the curtain on our conversation. I guess the production team will bring you in again until we put the nail on the coffin of this pandemic. We are very, very grateful to you for your discussions with us. So we are grateful to have had Dr. Mabel Otibuedi, a clinical psychologist and a lecturer at the University of Ghana. We are replacing one lady with another. She will soon be seated. And we'll get into a broader discussion into the president's update on the COVID-19. But Hisense is telling me to tell you that it is the only electric company in Ghana that, without a second thought, is offering you 5 years manufacturer's defect warranty for your items purchased. And it is telling you that in the wake of the deadly coronavirus, let us all intensify the preventive measures as stated by the government and the Ministry of Health to prevent the spread. Hisense is saying you can still buy your appliances, name them whichever appliances you desire, be it a refrigerator, a television set, gas cookers, what have you. Hisense will deliver them to you. Hisense, for your inquiries to Hisense and purchase your appliances from them, 0302 550000 is the number to call. So when you get your Hisense TV and your Hisense phones and you are relaxing and watching the dialogue and you're a bit peckish and hungry for food and you've run out of ingredients, the living room is still open for business. The living room is a restaurant somewhere in East Legon, and they have this new drive-through services that, of course, they have launched. To call them for further information on their new services, the drive-through services and the digital services, their numbers are 0271 060 357 or 030 291 6494. You can continue watching the dialogue on your social media handles. On YouTube, it is at Net2TVGH. I'm waiting for your messages. And on Facebook, it is the same social media handle at Net2TelevisionGH. Right, seated next to me now is the Member of Parliament for the Ayawaso West Wuogon Constituency. Of course, she's no other person than Honorable Lydia Alhassan. Good morning, Honorable, and welcome to the studios.
Good morning, my dear Baba.
How are you, Madam?
Very well, by His grace. We are doing well today, yes.
Have you had enough sleep and rest? Because I see you in the newspapers all throughout the weekend, donating, spearheading efforts to reach the vulnerable and the needy and all that. How has your time been during this pandemic?
It's been interesting. Let me use this opportunity to greet my constituents and good morning. Me Ayawaso West for me chia mo nyina, me chia obi biara, me chia mampanyi, me chia yen maame Mrs. Akufo-Addo, me chia yen maame Maafrema, me chia obia nyame nhira mo ene djuma pae nyina ye ede aboa ye man. It's been on and off. It's been interesting, as I said, until that barber, dressmaker, mason, laborer, anya bibi, atoneyem during the period, na mean that, mean to mean that until me aboa me amame to me aye bibi ahwe say bibia efi omo baaye no ahonto kakra ebeba omo abrabo mo. Until that is done, I wouldn't sleep. So I must say, Cecilia, there's relief. There's
relief, I can imagine. From yesterday, the president's update yesterday. Okay, so maybe that should sway our conversation. We'll come back to your efforts. I think we have some visuals on some of the distribution efforts that you made. We'll come back and look at that. But the president, in my case, for me, surprised Ghanaians with the lifting of the partial lockdown. Some people were advocating for the extension, at least a week extension, because we are used to fellow Ghanaians and we're coming into your home. But this time it was lifting of the ban. What are the implications as the president made that directive yesterday?
I must say it's in the right direction. In this country, we have majority of our people are those who live on daily basis. Most of the vulnerable, I must say. So they were suffering.
You could feel the suffering when you were going around?
I could feel it. We questioned them. The president, in his own wisdom, supported. We all know what he did to reduce the burden on the vulnerable.
Right.
But then,
okay.
There's this hot mail that goes on daily. Maybe President Abaso Papa, what he did for our vulnerable. But there was say, womo etumi pie, etumi bo mo homoden kakra. So you are not just going out there to be irresponsible. You are going out there wholly protected. You have to protect yourself. Like he said, you must wear your nose mask. Make us say, your radio, TV, something I'm there. Wear your nose mask everywhere you go. Wear it everywhere you go. In doing that, keeping to the social distance and adhering to all the protocols. Now, maybe we'll come out of this.
Fantastic. So let's maybe go into details into some of the things he said. What I got from the president's address yesterday was that there have been over 86,000 contacts that has been traced. And out of these number, 68,000 persons have been tested with results out. And we have just about a little over 18,000 backlog of tests. In all these things, 1,042 persons have been confirmed to have tested positive for the coronavirus disease. I don't know if we can take a listen to the president from yesterday telling us at least confirming the lifting of the ban for the majority of Ghanaians in the 3 lockdown areas, that is the Greater Accra, Greater Kumasi, and the surrounding environs, notably around the area of Kaswa. So let's see if we can hear the president. Notably around the area. Hear the president. Right, welcome back into the studios. Let's take a few messages from some of our viewers who have sent their text messages so far. This one says, the problem of fear is the media, how to present the case to the public. And this is from Grace Abankwa. She is also saying, good morning, I'm watching you from Italy. If you disagree with the president lifting up the ban or lifting the ban, you have every right to lock down yourself. Be grateful to the president for once. Mazu Fahad says, Madam, inshallah, you win the seat hands down again. Just stay focused on what you are doing for the people of Ayawaso West Wuogon. Victory shall be yours. Okay, so we are having a conversation with the Member of Parliament for the Ayawaso West Wuogon Constituency, Honorable Lydia. So in yesterday's update by the President, of course, I've mentioned a few things that I've heard. I mentioned, okay, what I got from the President update was that he's going to spearhead the production of vaccine and its manufacturing in Africa. But I hear the videos, part of the president's speech is ready. Let's listen to it.
Regional and district tuberculosis gene expert laboratories across the country to help ensure that we have a minimum situation of one testing center per region. Fellow Ghanaians, in view of our ability to undertake aggressive contact tracing of infected persons, the enhancement of our capacity to test, the expansion in the numbers of our treatment and isolation centers, our better understanding of the dynamism of the virus, the ramping up of our domestic capacity to produce our own personal protective equipment, sanitizers and medicine, the modest successes chalked in containing the spread of the virus in Accra and Kumasi, and the severe impact on the poor and vulnerable. I've taken the decision to lift the 3-week-old restriction on movements in the Greater Accra metropolitan area and Kaswa, and the Greater Kumasi metropolitan area and its contiguous districts, with effect from 1 a.m. on Monday, 20th April. In effect, tomorrow, we'll see the partial lockdown in Accra and Kumasi being lifted. I must make it clear at the outset that lifting these restrictions does not mean we're letting our guard down. All other measures are still firmly in place. For the avoidance of doubt, the earlier measures announced on Wednesday, 15th March, which have been extended, are still very much in force and have not been relaxed. I'm demanding even greater adherence to these measures. In here, I'm referring to the suspension of all public gatherings, including conferences, workshops, funerals, parties, nightclubs, drinking spots, beaches, festivals, political rallies, religious activities, and sporting events. All educational facilities, private and public, are to remain closed. Businesses and other workplaces can continue to operate, observing staff management and workplace protocols with a view to achieving social distancing and hygiene protocols.
The president addressing the issue of the partial lockdown and he lifting it up. Among other things, I guess we couldn't go through the over 30-minute update, but there were other things that he mentioned, including the local manufacturing of personal protective equipment, which we have come to know as PPEs, among others. He also mentioned that despite the fact that the partial lockdown has been lifted, all other directives remain the same. Ban on public gatherings, churches, nightclubs, all places where people can congregate are still banned as we have it. So we just heard the president. Let's take the opinion from the Ayawaso West MP, and among other things that the president said. What did you take out of the update?
As I said, it's a step in the right direction. The president, in his own wisdom, understands the people. He knows the kind of country that he is ruling and leading. And that is a decision, a bold one that he has to take to help or reduce the burden of the vulnerable. He started from day one. I mean, this is the only country in Africa that such a number has been tested. He took the bold decision. That is why we are where we are today. We know what's happening around us. Even the great, the mighty U.S., the almighty U.S., Germany, Italy, you know the numbers.
They're all reeling under this.
But in Ghana, by the grace of God, by the great and by the bold decision of our president, we are where we are today. 1.5% so far. I think it's a good number, and I think that there is no point in staying at home when we can come back to our normal life and continue to adhere to the protocols. As he said, we should it doesn't mean that we are letting our guards down. We should still.
I think that part of the message has to really go down into the populace, letting the guard down.
Exactly. And our security services should also be on their guard to continue the good work that we are doing. I must say, Ghanaians, we've done well so far, so good. Yen koso, nyema ye communities, yen fiemo, yen nya yare no, yen kwaso ne yen nimra no so, mra na ye diso anyame adom, Ghana yen spreadi bebre no, yen ni so. Good.
One other point that the president made was the local production of personal protective equipment. What do you think of it as a person? If I am right, you are in the pharmacy.
I'm in the pharmaceutical industry.
So what is going on there?
I must say, this has really opened doors for the pharmaceutical industry and even small-scale industries. FDA did so well by registering locally produced sanitizers. So that's why you can see sanitizers all over the place. Thank God we are not relying on imported sanitizers. We are producing ourselves, including my company producing and distributing out to the community. We have distributed over 20,000 produced by my company so far, and a lot of other pharmaceutical companies are doing the same. Price reduced. We appreciate all the effort by the industry players. We are so grateful to all of you. We are also producing, as you can see, locally made nose masks, nose covers, and all that. We are doing well. Our seamstresses, our dressmakers, our designers are all coming on board to ensure that this disease is contained. This disease is reduced and contained. We are grateful to all. We are so grateful. He also cushioned the industry. Most of our people, most of the small-scale pharmaceutical companies are saying they have not benefited, but let's all continue to do what we are doing in support of the president and to support the industry.
Okay, fantastic. And also another point the president made was the extension of the closure of our borders.
That is in the right direction.
You think so?
Yes.
Because if you've let the people free, you can also let the borders open.
No, the imported cases. Because we all know where most of this came from. And that step is what is helping Ghana. That step that was taken, that bold step that was taken by the president is what has helped to contain the disease. So it's a step in the right direction.
Okay, but we are hearing news reports of certain nationalities being arrested, 10 Nigerians, some Chadians, and other nationalities being arrested just a couple of days ago. And all those who were arrested were tested and they came back, unfortunately, positive. So it looks like there is a danger with...
So you can imagine why the president has to continue with...
But for how long would it be prudent for the borders to be closed?
Well, until the disease... for how long? Until we are sure and there's medication, I think the borders should still be closed.
I forgot to anyway,
cargoes are still coming in,
yes,
though,
cargo.
And that is most important.
Right.
Once the cargoes are coming in, it's most important.
Right. I just forgot to ask you on this issue of pharmacies producing PPEs and all that. I mean, what's the word out there in terms of treatment for the disease or the vaccine? Is there anything you are hearing?
We are all aware that there's no treatment yet. There's no treatment yet. We can't... People are trying to buy certain... They've heard that chloroquine, and they are trying to look for chloroquine and keep... Please don't. Please don't. We don't need that for now. Let's continue to adhere to the protocols. You don't have the disease, so don't try to worry yourself in keeping any medication. Stick to the protocols, and our good Lord will help us all.
Right. So let's put a bit of the president's address to the back burner and accentuate your efforts in the constituency. So, of course, thankfully the president has lifted the ban. I guess you heave a sigh of relief going forward. But we saw your efforts in the constituency trying to cushion the plight or mitigate the plight of the vulnerable and the needy. Did you learn any lessons during that process? Were you shocked at the level of vulnerability of some of the citizens? This is just normal. It was a confirmation of what you've known all the while.
Like I said, it's normal because I know most of them are people who live on what they do on a daily basis. So for me, it's a confirmation of what...
As we can see on the screen, we can see the Honorable MP. I guess this is a donation you made some time back at the 37.
Oh, that's a hospital.
Yes. Okay.
The young man who was injured, the young man who was injured during the by-election,
right,
at the time was still at the hospital.
Okay.
And I visited him and realized that the bill hasn't been settled.
Was still outstanding.
Yes, so I took it upon myself to raise funds to settle the bill. So that's what
what's happening
I did
here?
On that day. This is, I think that's Wuogon lorry station, the taxi station. That's one of my sensitization program. I went around to sensitize the taxi drivers on how to adhere to the protocols and also take care of themselves and their passengers. I distributed Veronica buckets and some detergents, sanitizers and all to them. I was at the markets, also at the night, we call it the night market, Wuogon, to do same. I went around the constituency. I've been to all the corners, the community, to either educate, sensitize, or do
Would you have an idea, the number of suspected cases in your constituency? Or
no, I don't.
You don't have an idea?
I don't, but Ayawaso West is exposed. We are exposed community or constituency. Most of my constituents travel a lot. I must say, by the grace of God, it's not scary. It's not scary.
And thankfully, you have one of the premier testing centers within your constituency,
Yes.
the Nogochi Memorial Institute. Do you have any working relationship with them or not yet?
Not on this one, but we have a relationship.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so now in the aftermath of the lifting of the ban.
Let me use this opportunity to say that when the news came out that they were coming to test the constituency, people panicked. Can you open ya, Mr. Mubebe, open yampo, say, yabeba say yaba teste, and who say, oh, yareni be, and I say only be. I was say, jitum, into me, Sremo may use Susa Quenya, ask Sremo say, Obi Biara, a few Biara, yabebum, say yaba test you, Mr. Menstro, Mahu Quine, Nayen test you, who say, oh, bia. Enu mumbe boa na ya treat won tem chan say wo beka say pese ye beye wan pese ye beye na se sebio obi kofa every baby ebe effective wa uhuni later eno na de nsem bebre eba no. It is better to know your status and have it treated than to keep yourself in the dark. So, Miss Remo Bebre, ye basa ye be testy ya, ye maho kwine ne testy, na ya memwayen ne enfie ho.
Right. So let's take a few messages that have dropped in. The lifting of the partial lockdown in the Greater Accra and Greater Kumasi occasioned by science and data provided by the Ghana Health Service and the COVID-19 medical team clearly shows that Ghana is doing a great job. Government's directive, which had helped the health personnel trace and test that unprecedented number in Africa, as far as this deadly coronavirus is concerned, is a great news. And I'm optimistic that Ghana will be out of the woods soon. This is from Kwesi Reynolds from Agona Odobing. Same Buachi from AlhassanMP, I beg your pardon, says, let's all commend President Akufo-Addo. Looking at him and listening to him yesterday tells us clearly he's not asleep at all. And he's proving to Ghanaians that he is the listening and caring president. Lifting the restrictions on movement doesn't mean you can do anything you like. Adhere to the given rules and protocols. Adhere to the rules and protocols given to us by the Health Ministry. If it's not important, please stay at home. Regards to Honorable Sentim Abuaji of AlhassanMP, Mr. Owen Kwame Frimpong, and Ernest Yaokumi of Akwitia. Abdul Karim, a political speaker from Wenchi Zongo, says the President, Nana Addo, has done what is expected of him as a president, and the good people of Ghana has their destiny in their own hands. We should observe the various protocols and prevent the spread of the coronavirus. This one too shall pass, inshallah. OPK from Guaso says, God bless visionary and competent Nana Addo, because I know surely he will overcome COVID-19 with good governance and 4 more years for him to do more. Regards to Honorable Martin J. Mensah Kosa, incoming MPP MP for Techiman South. Nana Kweku Menu Dwaso Sanahene, Nana Tapoku Dwaso Ankobiahene, and Mr. Rex Fodamankwa, Education from Guaso. From Dr. Abedi Kwadaso, aka Police Ni, he says, it's a great pleasure to understand that the lockdown has been lifted with social distancing if social distancing will not be practiced at all for now, for a lot of people, will go back to the streets. Okay, I find it quite difficult to read this, but you can resend them again. And finally, Senior, as the President has lifted the lockdown, I plead with all of us to still abide by the President's directive, because COVID-19 is not over yet. Say no to COVID-19. Greetings to Honorable Carlos Ahinkra, Member of Parliament for Tema, and Engineer Laye Odai. Right, so the conversation is still with the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wuogon, Honorable Lydia Alhassan. Madam, the president also made one clarion call on the citizens of Ghana about stigmatization and disregard for fake news. How did that touch your nerves as well?
As he rightly said, it is not a crime. It is not a crime to contract the disease.
Right.
Unlike diseases, some I won't mention, HIV and all the other diseases, this is something that you don't bring to yourself. Or it doesn't mean the others we deliberately bring them to ourselves.
Right.
So please, let's stop it. It can happen to any of us. It can happen to any of us. Please, let's stop the stigma. Let's put a stop to it. We all want people. Try to protect yourself, knowing very well that this can happen to any of us. Let's protect ourselves. I think that even if it could be made a crime, or if we could prosecute people, and also the nose masks, not wearing of nose masks, we should all wear it everywhere we go to protect ourselves and protect our families. We should all do that. We should all ensure that we do that. It's available now everywhere we pass. The locally produced one is available everywhere. And also, Mr. Emo Bebre, nose marks, no, wa bebia sese, wa bebia, yen she bebia ye kobia, yen she so say, ye be she e de abo ye ho ban, e de abo ye busuanfo ensuso e ho ban. E be ye kra anka sese a enu mom e na wo say oman no, e be ya anka wo a wan hye bi no, wo na wo say de wo fa mra kwan so. Ye we ye na sa ebeboa yen e wo so bia all pie mu wo fie wo ba bia wo ko hia obi ni nakasa nkwan de e wo say utumi hye nose mask na wan hia wo mom e na wo say ye do e fa mra kwan so sa na madwen ye me etumi ye sa ebeboa ama yare wai ano abafom nyame adom Ghana for ye di mra no so de ye ya femo de. But say ya jai ya lefty bani u kokroma pe nose mask ni bi na hye ansa na wako bebia wa wan hye bi no e na sese ye do e famra kwan eso.
Fantastic. So it's been an engaging discussion with you, letting us know what you've been up to and what your opinion is on the president's update on the coronavirus containment measures. We say thank you very much, and we desire to have you more regularly because you are next door constituency to us. So we would like to have you more regularly as we enter another phase of the containment measures for this coronavirus pandemic. We are very grateful to you, Honorable.
You're most welcome. And once again, please, let's stay at home. If you have nothing doing in town, please stay at home. The ban has been lifted. It doesn't mean that if you have nothing doing in town, you want to go to town. Let's stay at home if you can. Let's adhere to the protocols and keep the social distance. At our workplaces, everywhere you find yourself, the 2 meters should be strictly enforced. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Right. So from the Member of Parliament from Ayawaso West, we are heading to who's celebrating their birthday today? Well, you and I will find out in a minute. Let's go. Who's having a birthday? Should I sing happy birthday to Vida Crensel? Why not? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Vida. Happy birthday to you. Congratulations, Vida. Stay blessed. So next we have Senna Blankson, also from family and friends, wishing her a fantastic birthday like her smile depicts. Who's next? Margaret Texan is also celebrating her birthday today, and this wish is coming from Emmanuel Adumako. And this is Miguel Diaz-Canel, the president of the Republic of Cuba. He's also celebrating his birthday today. Right, so we are back into the studio. Just before we wrap up for the day, let's say Franco Trading wishes to inform the general public and its cherished customers that due to the partial lockdown in the Greater Accra and Kumasi areas, their online sales service are fully operational with staff working to satisfy their cherished customers. However, their branches across the showrooms in other regions remain fully operational. So if you want to buy any appliances, be it a phone or a tablet from Franco Trading, don't hesitate. The number to call or the